Hey guys, we're back with even more superhero weaknesses. You thought we were done? Did you think this was a game? Well, sit back and get ready for the top 10 superhero weaknesses part 3. I'm Sasha Wood and let's get started. So if you guys are interested in parts 1 and 2, then check out these cards that are beside me and you can see all of the other weaknesses as well. Number 10, Swamp Thing and pollution. That's right, this weakness is crossing from the sea with Namor to the swamp with Dr. Alec Holland. Since his powers and abilities are directly plant-based, this makes sense. The quality of the water, plant life, and vegetation affects Holland's health and ability to manipulate the plant life around him. It's no wonder he's such a champion for the environment. Number 9, DEFLATOR Mouse and Cowardice. Oh, the Tick, such a great parody show. And one of its best characters is their Batman amalgam, DEFLATOR Mouse, aka the Bat. He doesn't fight crime, he's too afraid. When they turn on his bat signal, he leaves town. When confronted with battle, he faints. Basically, he's in it for the credit and the press, but not to do any actual work. No, he'll leave that to the Tick.
Spoon!
Number 8, the Vision and getting too rigid. The Vision has the ability to alter his density. While useful in most combat situations, he can also do it past the point where he can move his muscles, pretty much turning himself into a stone immovable man. I mean, there are times I guess where being an immovable object would be good, but it seems like an odd strategy to employ in battle, and definitely something a villain could exploit if they gained control of him. Just cause him to increase his density to 90 tons and proceed with your crime spree. I mean, once you take out the rest of the Avengers as well. Number 7, Wonder Woman being bound by her own lasso of truth. Oh, classic Wonder Woman, we meet again. As discussed in an earlier part of this series, early Wonder Woman was made up of a bunch of contradictory ideas about femininity and female sexuality, and her comic featured a lot of bondage. Her getting tied up was a staple feature, but some people pointed out how come this only happened when men tied her up? Well, it wasn't just men, it was just men could tie her up with anything, but it was open season when it came to the lasso of truth. Being bound by her own lasso of truth made her submissive and susceptible to the person wielding its control. Over time this was phased out along with most of the bondage element. However, escaping her own lasso is still a hindrance due to its strength and mythological properties, which Batman has found a way to counteract, cause of course he has. However, the implications of the lasso of truth are still interesting to explore, and writers do so from time to time, such as in the Elseworld story Superman Red Sun. Number 6, Plastic Man Extreme Heat / Acetone. Plastic Man has an extremely moldable body. Being created in 1956 means that they were going by a different definition of plastic than what we currently connote plastic with today. While Plastic Man can handle being frozen and the cold, physically at least, not emotionally, it really freaks him out, heat is something else entirely. Intense concentrated heat can actually melt him. This can also be accomplished by exposing him to certain chemicals like acetone. So if you have gallons of nail polish remover, which of course you do, you can melt Plastic Man. He'll regenerate, but only after these stimuli are gone. Poor guy, who wants to exist as a puddle of goo. Number 5, the Flash and not eating. Okay, this is serious business for everyone, but especially for the Flash, as he functions at such high speeds his entire system is sped up, and that includes of course his metabolism. He needs to constantly be refueling in order to maintain basic functions, yet alone optimal crime fighting ones. Some writers solve this by having the Flash carry granola bars with him, or frequently stop off for food as he runs, leaving money on the counters and the like, but the Flash has to eat. This is a weakness that makes a lot of sense, but isn't overly recognized. Not all the time at least. So basically, if you put the Flash in a giant hamster wheel with no way out and make him run with no food, he's not gonna do so well. From one eating themed weakness to another, at number 4 we have the Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, and weight gain. While heroes may be shown to have exceptional physiques that are meant to make us all curl up in a ball with envy, there would be a certain amount of physical prowess required for non-power based heroes. During Ted Cord's time with the JLI, the Justice League International, he became sort of a joke character and started hitting the snacks pretty hard, to the point where his costume no longer fit. As a result, he became less and less able to go out on patrol, and was often regulated to monitor duty, and his other heroes started to kinda make fun of him. This was actually the beginning of a good character arc where he decided to change his life and take charge, not wanting to be a joke anymore. Played for laughs, but also a nice moment to remind us that heroes struggle too. Can you imagine how much constant food discipline they must be employing? tiring. Number 3. The Confessor and Vampirism. This would be the first Confessor, not the second, who was his sidekick Alter Boy. While Alter Boy wasn't a vampire, the first Confessor definitely was. He stalked the streets at night fighting crime. While he fights for penance, he is as susceptible to all traditional vampire weaknesses as any vampire. So his enemies would employ crucifixes, holy water, stakes, etc. to try and take him down. However, ultimately he sacrificed himself to stop an alien invasion, which involved him having to expose himself to sunlight. Paradoxically, his weakness has become his successor's strength, as people also think the second Confessor is a vampire, and as a result try to fight him with the same methods, which are of course useless. Number 2. Thor and letting go of his hammer for over a minute. So we need to travel back to some classic Thor for this. Back when Thor was also Donald Blake, a doctor existing as a mortal man, initially unaware that he was Thor. However, once it was revealed he was able to shift between the two forms. However, if Thor let go of his hammer for more than 60 seconds in battle, he would transform back into Donald Blake. So it was stated that the hammer was so small that Thor just kept it tucked into his belt at all times. Thank goodness so few people are worthy to lift the hammer, or Thor would find himself spending long stints of time as Donald Blake. This weakness was ultimately removed, and Thor assumed his civilian identity by changing into regular clothes like everyone else. No phone booth for him though, he carried a duffel bag. And number 1. Ant-Man, Hank Pym, and dissociative personality disorder. For those who know Hank Pym, they'll know he's had many aliases: Ant-Man, Giant Man, Yellow Jacket, the Wasp. Well, over time, it was revealed that Hank Pym was severely mentally unstable, to the point where during one now never forgotten arc, he forgot he was Hank Pym, and instead thought he was Yellow Jacket. This sent him spiraling into paranoia, near villainy, and into domestic abuse. The worst thing about this is that firstly the slap panel where he hits his wife was an accident, a miscommunication between author and artist. Next, whether it was an accident or not, nobody really tries to help him in canon. He gets kicked off the team and divorced. Like, he was really sick. He eventually recovered, because comics, but yeah, it's pretty hard to fight crime when you're not even sure who you are. So those are even more superhero weaknesses. Are you taking notes? Are we ready to form a supervillain league yet? I think we are. Let us know what other lists you'd love to have us do here on Top 10 Nerd down in the comments below. I'm Sasha Wood, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you never miss another nerdy list. See ya!